Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to talk about Gearbox. They've done a few things since, say, the Colonial Marines, but let's face it, that was quite the PR disaster, and I don't think they've really quite recovered from it, if I'm honest with you. And we're also going to talk about G2A, which, let's face it, is also not doing great in terms of PR recently. And we're going to talk about Bulletstorm. Yes, you've probably guessed it by now. Gearbox have partnered with G2A to bring you special editions of Bulletstorm full clip. Oh dear me. That's not the way to do it. Now, if you're not familiar with Bulletstorm, then, well, I'll give you a brief rundown on what the game is and why you should, had they not partnered with GTA, G2A, have gone out and bought it. Don't partner with GTA, that's a game, that's not a website. So Bulletstorm was a crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top shooter, whereby you could do things like fire. I believe there are weapons that drilled out people's anuses. You could do that. Kick people onto spikes, you could do crazy combos and stuff. It was really fun. It was score-based, it was absolutely great. The story got a little bit serious, I felt, at times, for little to no reason. But the game itself was high quality. I absolutely adored it. I played it far too much, far more than it really deserved. And I was a little bit sad that it didn't seem to catch on as much as I felt it should. Now, I was happy, right? I was really happy because Gearbox have turned up and they've said, look at this, Bulletstorm full clip edition. We're bringing back Bulletstorm. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Updated, all of that stuff. And I thought to myself, awesome. That's awesome. I lost my DVD of Bulletstorm years and years ago. I never really cared enough to try and hunt it down, but if it had been presented to me as like an updated experience, I would have absolutely gone for it. Unfortunately, they're doing it via G2A. So, Gearbox themselves have had a fairly rough time in terms of PR, and the cause of that, I think, really was Colonial Marines. That was a severe mistake, the way that they marketed and released that. It was made out to look a lot better than it actually was, graphically, gameplay-wise, everything-wise, really. The trailers for it looked fantastic, and everyone got really excited, myself included. And then the game came out, and it looked bad. Compared to the trailers, at least, it looked awful. The AI was absolutely shockingly terrible. Like, the Xenomorph it's like the consummate hunter. It is the peak of evolution in terms of hunting. So why, in Colonial Marines, when you're facing literal hordes of them, do they waddle towards you just like an idiot? Why do they just sort of vaguely wander in your direction? I don't know, but that's how they decided to do it. It was a shockingly bad experience. It was a crap game. People hated it, and people hated them for it, and I don't think they ever really properly recovered from that. So Gearbox, not looking great. Even now, not looking great. G2A, they're like on a whole other level in terms of just generally being a bit scummy, a bit shitty. So if you're not familiar with G2A, then they are a grey market key seller, is how I would describe them, and in fact how a lot of people describe them. I think Total Biscuit, I don't know if he coined the term grey market, but I'm pretty sure he's used that in reference to G2A on a number of occasions. So G2A is a very cheap website where you can buy games very cheaply. The only downside is you have no idea where your key is coming from. So you buy a Steam key or whatever key from G2A, and you kind of just have to hope that it's legitimate. But there's a very good chance that it won't be legitimate, and this is the problem. So G2A basically just allows anyone to sell keys. And you have to provide decent keys to start with. Like, you have to show that your keys are legitimate to begin with, at least. But, as proved in a Reddit AMA, which I'll link in the description below. By the way, there's going to be articles and galore in the description below, so you can do some extra reading on this. It was discovered that actually, once you got verified and you could, once you'd earned trust with the platform, you could sell whatever the hell you liked, including just stuff that was totally made up. The person who pointed this out got banned from selling and buying on G2A, which is not the responsible way to handle that sort of information. G2A themselves have attempted to clean up their act. They were becoming very well known for selling fraudulent keys for selling essentially stolen property. Something that people would like to do, and something that I believe it was Tiny Build had a huge issue with, is taking other people's credit cards, so stolen credit card information, buying keys, then the credit card gets declined, or at least the charges are reversed, and then they get to keep the keys and sell them on G2A, and the actual publisher / developer / retailer that they bought them from originally are left out of pocket and out in the cold. Tiny Build themselves have said that G2A is basically responsible for about $450,000 worth of sales that they saw no money from. That's really shit. Like, that is really, really shit. Now, G2A have said that they're trying to combat this. They're doing things about this. They've introduced something called G2A Shield, for instance, which is like a little insurance policy, kind of. Except, from what I can see, and from what I've been told, and from everything I've been able to look up about this, G2A Shield just seems a bit shit. And a little bit sort of protection rackety, almost. It seems to function... the way it seems to function is that you pay for it. You pay for GTA, I keep saying it, G2A Shield. And G2A Shield is there as protection. So it's like, in the case that your Steam key in fact turns out to be bullshit, sort of been claimed, or it's not even a key to begin with, you'll get your money back. Which is a little bit the wrong way round. Surely they should be attempting to make sure that people don't sell stolen or non-legitimate keys in the first place, not simply saying, if someone has sold you something that's blatantly false, we will refund you. That's not the way round it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go the other way. You're supposed to prevent people from selling blatantly fraudulent material in the first place. I mean, it's kind of ironic that I complain about that whilst using Steam, because Steam's full of shit as well, just in a slightly different manner. They've also had numerous run-ins with developers and publishers where they've said, well, if you sell your thing using our payment system and our API, then we can ensure that all of the keys sold on our website are legitimate for you. Yeah, I mean, that's just blackmail. That's blackmail. That's a protection racket. That's just what that is. They did that to Tiny Build, and they did that to Chrono GG, for instance. They said to Chrono GG, well, if you use our thing, we can ensure that this sort of thing doesn't happen to you again. That's scummy as hell. That's disgraceful. Now, it could be that Gearbox is attempting to bring up G2A. They're attempting to imbue it with some form of legitimacy. But when you're dealing with a company that's had as much bad press as G2A has had for the last couple of years, and there's been not just a steady, but a veritable tidal wave of people just ditching G2A. They used to have some really big names attached to them. Lyric was involved with G2A. He's not involved with them anymore in the slightest. I'm pretty sure PewDiePie was involved in G2A as well, and as far as I can tell, he's got nothing to do with them anymore either. People are not happy with the way that G2A have been either portrayed in the media or how they've just behaved in general, causing them to be portrayed the way they have in the media. And they've left them. They've left them alone. I cannot really understand on any level why Gearbox would think that it's a good thing to do. Like, it's never going to be a positive PR move. And Gearbox doesn't really need bad PR because they've had enough of it over the last couple of years. The only thing I can really think is that when they came to decide how they were going to do like collector's editions and so on, they basically got quotes. It's like, will you do this for us? Will you do that for us? G2A may well have been the one with the most attractive package on offer, and the one that Gearbox felt would be the most beneficial to them. And that's fine. You've got to look at your bottom line, you've got to look at finance and how a release of something like Bulletstorm is going to go however many years after the release of the original version of the game. But you just don't want to be trying to get in bed with a company that has had so much bad press and so many people getting so irritated with it so many times. Like, it's genuinely baffling to me, and I keep using that word a lot at the moment. I'm just permanently baffled. It is baffling to me that a company like Gearbox, who have been burned in terms of PR fairly badly multiple times in the past, and not even in like the far past, in the recent past, would look at G2A as a company and go, yeah, they seem like solid dudes. I think that could work. yeah, we'll go with them. I mean, as a result, high-profile names now want nothing to do with it. Total Biscuit has said no, he's not interested. He'll just not cover Bulletstorm anymore. He was planning to do stuff with the game, and now it's just no, not supporting Gearbox, not supporting G2A. Because by supporting Gearbox, he is supporting G2A, which he refuses to do. Which I absolutely agree with him with. Jim Sterling as well made a comment on Twitter earlier where he was just like, yeah, no, not so much about the Bulletstorm anymore. And it's fair enough, because G2A have done very little to actually do anything about the problems that they have caused. They've done the whole protection racket thing, they've done the G2A shield thing, they've said, oh, if you use our payment method, then we can make sure this doesn't happen again. They've done all of that, but it looks sleazy, and it doesn't actually seem to fix the problem, because the issue with chargebacks and stolen credit cards and keys being resold and just non-legitimate keys being sold, that's still happening, that's still going on, none of that's changed. The only thing that's changed is that G2A are trying to, by the look of it, intimidate people about it instead of actually fixing it. So, do you want to be involved with that? Like, do you think that's a good message to stick on your brand new product? Well, brand new, pushing it a little bit. Your re-release of your product? Not so much. Thing is, I'd be really keen to know what you think of this. Like, are you still interested in Bulletstorm? Are you still going to buy it? Are you still going to support it? Do you think Gearbox is just going to ditch it? Not Bulletstorm, but G2A. Because I'm fairly sure that they'll go back on this. They will sort of renounce the partnership. They'll go, oh no, we're not doing that anymore. I'd be interested to see if you think that'll happen as well. Just, what do you think of the whole thing? Because I think it's crazy. I think it's mental. I don't understand why Gearbox have done it at all, and I think it's biting them severely in the arse. Do you think G2A deserves another chance? I don't, but I'll be just interested to hear what you've got to say. Let me know in the comments below. I do always read them. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the audio on this one. Got a brand new microphone, as you can see. AT2022 Audio-Technica AT2020 USB Plus. I know it's 2020 or 2020. I'm going to say 2020. Having a few issues with noise reduction and stuff, which I was spoiled with the previous microphone. With the previous microphone, there was some funky software that came with it that just had active noise reduction. I've never seen it on any other microphone. There are ways to do it, but I need to get those up and running. Hopefully this sounds good. It sounds better to me, but I could just be biased because I've had to buy the Sonic thing. But yeah, let me know about that as well. Sound good? Sound bad? Let me know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, then like the video. Feel free to click the other video that's in the little box there, and you can also subscribe and click on the thing for my Patreon if you want to, but you don't have to. It's up to you. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.